What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bass Project. Now today, as you can see, I have 3 lures in front of me, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 3 favorite lures for the summertime. It is getting towards the end of July. It's almost August. August is the dog days of summer, and summer bass fishing can get tough, but with these 3 lures I guarantee you guys can catch fish. So if you want to see my top 3 favorite lures and what I like to, how I fish them and all that, stick around to the end of the video. So anyways, let's get into these lures. Alrighty guys, so number 1 bait for me is going to be a jig. Now, it's the dog days of summer, you know, August, it's towards the end of July, almost going to be the beginning of August, and August is hands down the hardest month of summer to catch bass. And a jig can just get it in, whether it be a casting or flipping jig like this one, a finesse jig, any type of jig, just dragging it along the bottom just catches so many fish. And the reason why it does that is because its presentation is very slow. In the summertime, these bass do not want to eat. They do not want to spend their energy going out to hunt. And a jig will just be trolling along the bottom, and you'll stop it, and those bass will just pick it up. And I've been using this jig a lot. I'm going to pop up a clip of fish that I've been catching with this jig. But as you can see, the paint is chipping off and it's all scratched up because I've been using it a lot. In jigs, you could bump them against logs, against rocks, drag them along the bottom, rocky bottoms, muck bottoms. Doesn't matter what you're fishing, a jig will catch you fish. And I just love it, and I have a lot of versatility with the jig because, again, I can fish all the types of jigs, all the weights and sizes of jigs, all the colors, and all the trailers as well. I can experiment with that. And bait number 2, or I guess you could say rig number 2, is going to be a Texas rig. Now, in the summertime, the number 1 rule is slowing down. I understand that early in the morning and late in the evening, you can get away with catching fish on crankbaits and things like that. Yes, I've caught fish on crankbaits in the summertime all the time, but that's because I'm fishing current and the water's cooler, and I can get away with fishing with the faster bait because these bass aren't used to such hot water because of the current. But let's say in like a regular lake or pond or whatever, like a moving bait is not going to be your best option. Maybe early in the morning and late in the evening, but towards the middle of the day, probably not going to catch anything with a moving bait. And a Texas rig is just such a good bait because I can drag it along the bottom really slow. And also, I have a lot of versatility with a Texas rig. Number 1, I can mess around with my weight, bullet weight. I can mess around with the size of hook, the size lure, the type of lure. Right now, for demonstration, I have a little curly tail worm, but I can throw a Senko on there. I can throw, yes, even with the bullet weight, I can throw a Senko on there. I can throw a craw on there. I can throw some type of beaver or creature bait or a lizard or something that I could just drag along the bottom. And these fish, these bass, when they just see crawling along the bottom and then you just stop it, they're most likely going to pick it up. And I love using a 1/4 ounce, 1/4 ounce bullet weight. It's just my favorite. If I'm fishing really deep water, like probably the deepest water that I'm fishing is probably like 30-40 feet, I might go to 3/8 ounce, but most of the time I'm fishing a 1/4 ounce weight. And it gets my lure down there fast. If you wanted to, even you could peg your weight to make it like the weight not slide up and down. That way you can pitch it and flip it into cover and grass and things like that. And again, just something big that can just go along the bottom. Oftentimes I'll even put a 10-inch. This is just a regular 7 1/4 inch worm. Most of the time you'll see guys throwing like big 10-inch, 12-inch worms, just dragging them along the bottom. And yes, you will oftentimes catch a fish the size of your worm, but you're gonna catch fish because that slow drag in the summertime is what catches fish. And bait number 3, hands down, is gonna be a wacky rig, for me at least. Now, this is a bait that I'm not going to fish in the middle of the day. This is a bait that I'm going to pick up early in the morning. Why? Because, number 1, early in the morning, these bass are up close to the bank feeding and things like that. And then in the middle of the day, when it gets hot out, they're going to go out deep, right? That's why I love fishing humps. I love fishing secondary points. I love fishing steep drop-offs and ledges because I can fish the shallow water in the morning, and then throughout the middle of the day, I can fish that deeper water around that structure. And a wacky rig early in the morning, just skipping it and just up shallow and the grass and all that, and just in general casting it shallow, it catches so many fish. And the reason that I don't like to fish it in the middle of the day is because I transition in the middle of the day to fishing deep water, and the Senko takes a long time to sink. Even if I put a weighted hook on there, it's gonna take a long time, and it's just not the most ideal bait for fishing deep water. But early in the morning and in the evening time, a Senko is just gonna get bit, especially if you wacky rig it. It's just gonna have that subtle fall, and oftentimes even in the morning and evening, these bass are still lazy, and just that subtle death wobble that a Senko has on a wacky rig is just deadly. So those are my top 3 baits for the summertime, and I hope that you guys can use these tips to catch yourself some summertime bass. And as always, if you want to see more amazing videos from me, stick around, subscribe, like, do all that, and as always, stay positive, stay happy, and go catch some more fish. Peace.